Have you ever wanted to begin something and then felt your body stop you before your mind could explain why? You know what to do. You know the next step. You know it is not impossible, and still something in you hesitates. It is not always fear of failure, no. Sometimes the deeper fear is more specific than that. It is the fear of being seen while not yet impressive. Seen while learning. Seen while uncertain. Seen before the polished version arrives. A person wants to post the video, send the message, make the offer, walk into the room, ask the question, start the project, begin the conversation. But the first step feels too exposed. This is not a message about humiliation. This is not a message about becoming shameless. No. This is not a message about turning yourself into spectacle. No. This is a message about embarrassment. And you know that there is a difference. Embarrassment has a body. The face warms. The throat tightens. The chest contracts. The stomach pulls inwards. The mind begins looking for a way out. The body says, do not be seen like this. Not yet. Not unfinished. Not uncertain. Not awkward. Not learning. Not before you know you can control the outcome. Good luck. And this is the strange thing, is that the event itself may be small. Okay? A first video, a first post, a first offer, a first attempt, a first sentence. But the body reacts exactly as though exile is waiting nearby. Most embarrassment happens before anyone reacts. Before the comment, before the silence, before the mistake, before the laughter, before the rejection. Because the imagined audience always arrives first. The mind creates witnesses. People who will laugh. People who will judge. People who will say, who does he think he is? People who will remember. People who will decide you were never serious. Funny thing, Sometimes the room is not even watching. Sometimes no one has noticed. Hmm. Sometimes no one is thinking about you as much as you fear believes. But the body, oof, the body does not respond to reality alone. It responds to imagined exposure. This is the reason why beginning feels dramatic. It is not because the first step is objectively enormous, no, but because the self-image believes it is about to be placed on trial. Embarrassment remembers a classroom, a family table, a comment from years ago, a moment where someone laughed, a time you were corrected in front of others, a room where being visible became unsafe. An old moment becomes instruction. Okay? Do not stand out. Do not attempt too early. Do not speak before certainty. Do not let them see you before you can guarantee admiration. Then the wound becomes a stage manager. It decides when you may enter. It decides what you may wear. It decides how perfect the performance must be. It decides whether the world is allowed to see you at all. And at first, perhaps that protected something, yes. Perhaps it kept you safer. Perhaps it kept you from being mocked again. But eventually that protection becomes expensive. Because the price is beginning. Many people are not waiting for clarity. They are waiting for polish. They say things like, I need more time. I need to prepare. I need to improve. I need to understand it better. Well, sometimes, yes, they do. But not always. Sometimes preparation is image protection. A way to avoid the first awkward attempt. A way to postpone visible imperfection. A way to say, I will begin when I can guarantee I will not look foolish. Good luck with that. Perfection can become postponement with better clothing, yes. It looks disciplined. It sounds mature. It appears responsible. But beneath it, there may be a very simple fear. A fear that says, I cannot bear being seen before I am impressive. That fear alone can steal years from you. Not loudly, no, quietly. through preparation, through refinement, through waiting, through editing, through imagining a future version who will finally be safe enough to begin. The first attempt is not a verdict, no. It is not final judgment on your talent, no. It is not proof of your destiny. It is not evidence that you belong or do not belong. It is simply the first attempt. Beginnings are allowed to look like beginnings. Now, go check my initial videos on the channel. Check now and compare. Because the first video may sound like a first video. A first offer may feel uncomfortable. Yeah. A first conversation may be imperfect. A first piece of work may not yet carry mastery. That is not failure. That is birth. Okay? Many people want the authority of the mature version without enduring the visibility of the beginner. They want the elegance of mastery without passing through the awkward doorway of practice. Well, flash news. The doorway remains. The doorway is awkward for almost everyone, even the gifted, even the intelligent, even the cold, even the ones who later appear effortless. Because at some point, they have to be seen before they were complete. Imagine the person standing before the camera. The room is quiet. The light is good enough, but not perfect. The script is ready enough, but not flawless. They press record. Then stop. Then start again. Then stop again. I'm laughing because I am remembering myself of those. This is not because they cannot speak. No, they can speak. It's not because they have nothing to say. Oh, they do. It is not because they are incapable. They are not. But because being seen learning feels too close to being judged. Or imagine the person writing the post. They write the sentence, delete it, write it again. Make it softer, make it cleverer, make it safer. Then close the app and call it discernment. But sometimes it was not discernment. No. Sometimes it was embarrassment. Embarrassment standing at the door with a very serious face. Sometimes the person was not protecting truth. No. They were protecting image. There is a hidden bargain inside embarrassment. If I do not begin, I cannot be seen failing. If I do not try, I cannot be judged. If I do not offer, I cannot be refused. If I remain private, I can remain perfect. In imagination, of course. Private potential feels safe. Yes. No one, absolutely no one, can criticize what has not been expressed. No one can reject what has not been offered. No one can mock what has not entered the world. But private potential also cannot build a life. Unexpressed capacity does not mature. It remains protected. It remains imagined. It remains beautiful inside the private theater of what could be. But life is not built by what remains untested. No. So, so let us stop mincing words. Don't make a fool of yourself. Not a spectacle. Not as self-disrespect. Not as a jester begging for attention. No. As someone who finally understands that awkwardness is not death. Go begin badly enough to begin truthfully. Let the first attempt carry the smell of effort. Let the voice tremble. Let the sentence land imperfectly. Let the hand shake. Let the room see that you are entering. You are not required to look complete before you are allowed to move. No. You are not required to be admired before you are allowed to practice. You are not required to be elegant before you are allowed to begin. Embarrassment is not death. No. It is heat, yes. It is exposure, that too. It is the body realizing that the old protection is no longer in command. It feels dramatic, yes, but it is not fatal. Avoiding embarrassment has a price. It may keep you comfortable. It may preserve your image, surely. But it also preserves the life that never begins. There are lives built around avoiding awkwardness. No first offer, no visible attempt, no honest desire, no public beginning, no bold question, no imperfect creation. Just a polished prism called readiness. You see, the embarrassment passes. That is the part that people forget. The heat fades. The comment disappears. The awkward moment becomes memory. But the delay remains. And delay repeated long enough, becomes architecture. The price of never looking foolish may well be never becoming free, never beginning, never offering, never asking, never discovering what the first awkward step was trying to open. Mm. Courage does not always feel noble, no. Sometimes courage feels hot, clumsy, uncomfortable, too visible, too soon, too much. Sometimes courage feels exactly like embarrassment before the meaning changes. The body may tremble and still be moving correctly. Yeah. The face may burn and still be facing the right direction. The voice may shake and still be carrying truth. Do not, do not confuse discomfort with wrong direction. Because not every heat is a warning. Sometimes the heat, well, the heat in the face, is not danger. Sometimes it is transition. Huh? Sometimes it is the old identity losing authority as the new one takes its first visible breath. The body learns by surviving. You do the thing, you feel embarrassed, you remain alive, you do it again. And repeating this, the body begins to understand this did not destroy me. Mhm. Repetition teaches safety, not theory, not motivational language, no. Not someone telling you to be confident. Terrible. Repetition. Okay? The first visible step teaches the body what words alone cannot. The world did not end. The room did not swallow you. The internet did not gather to execute your first attempt. The people who judged you returned to their own lives. And you? Well, you remained. This is how confidence is built. It is not by waiting until embarrassment disappears, no, but by acting until the embarrassment loses its authority. Confidence, it's often the memory of survived exposure. Because survived exposure becomes strength. The body remembers, I can be seen and still remain. I can begin and still belong to myself. I can be imperfect and still continue. There is dignity in the honest beginner. Not the careless beginner, no. Not the unserious beginner. Not the performer pretending awkwardness is personality. No, 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 no. The honest beginner. The one who knows the work matters enough to enter before mastery arrives. The sovereign does not wait to be perfectly received. No. He does not make admiration the entrance fee for movement, no. He does not ask embarrassment for permission to obey direction, no. He begins because the road requires embodiment. Remember this. The first step is not beneath you. The awkward attempt is not beneath you. The visible beginning is not beneath you. Only the ego believes it should arrive already crowned. Do not worship the polished self. Respect refinement. Develop mastery. Honor excellence. But do not use polish as a hiding place. The polished self must be built. It cannot be imagined into authority. And this is where embodiment must eventually move. Safety was examined. Belonging was examined. Self-editing was examined. Constant interpretation was examined. Discernment was examined. So naturally, the next question is, can you act while still feeling exposed? Can you begin before the image feels safe? Can you make the offer before the voice is perfect? Can you enter the room before the body feels impressive? Can you take the step before embarrassment gives consent? At some point, the answer must become yes. Not always, not recklessly, not without wisdom. But when the direction is true, and the only remaining obstacle is the fear of looking foolish, the answer must become a yes. Because embarrassment is not a gate, nor is it a grave. Okay? It may burn, it may humble, it may expose the part of you that still wants approval before movement, yes. But it is not death. Do not let awkwardness govern your become. Do not let the imagined audience inherit your future. Do not let the old laugh decide whether the present version of you is allowed to begin. And for those who require steady courage, through the first visible step, there are forms of work not conducted in public. Access exists. Remember this. You may look awkward. You may feel exposed. You may make a face, lose a sentence, miss the timing, or discover that the first attempt was not beautiful. Begin anyway. Go make a fool of yourself if that is what the gate requires. Then learn. Then refine. Then return. Because embarrassment is not death. No. It is often the first heat of a light beginning to move.